Wrapped in protective paper, folded up inside a cardboard box, stored in a crowded space within the Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum, sits the Confederate battle flag removed from the State House monument more than 2 years ago. The museum's director says there are more challenges than meets the eye to displaying it.
They're pieces of cloth tattered and worn.
Damage to these flags could happen in a lot of ways.
They're hand-sewn or hand-painted.
You do see the marks of battle.
Many pierced from gunfire.
It's had a hard and a long life.
Others stained with blood.
These flags were not just a symbol, they were a vital link in the chain of command.
All of them cover the walls of the South Carolina Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum.
They each have their own story. They each have both the story of the men who fought under the flag and the engagements it was in, but also of the people who created the flag in the first place.
Curator Joe Long glows when sharing those stories.
Whether it was a group of ladies at home with high hopes and perhaps romantic notions, or later on whether it was factory workers somewhere working on a primitive sewing machine as part of a bigger war effort.
To Long, each one is an artifact with significant historic value, like this one, which greets visitors at the Relic Room's entrance.
When the state seceded for the Union, one regiment was raised immediately for the defense of Charleston. It was these guys.
It's the flag of the 1st South Carolina Volunteer Infantry, made of silk decorated with flowers.
There were 5 teenagers shot carrying this flag in less than 5 minutes. And as each one fell, another one picked it up and carried it forward.
Among these flags, uniforms, weapons, photographs, and paintings enters a newer artifact. A flag 2 years old, not 200.
Definitely not carried into battle.
The flag that flew at the State House until July 10, 2015. Since its removal, a choice lawmakers made after a racially motivated attack on a Charleston church weeks before that killed one of their own, it's been stored away inside the Relic Room's archive. Lawmakers chose to display it here as part of that decision to take it down.
So this is the flag here. It's not very grand here. But
this is history that Museum Registrar Chelsea Grayburn watched unfold in person 2 years ago.
So it's kept in acid-free tissue paper.
Seeing, touching it now is a bit different from handling the more aged pieces.
It's too near to where I am now to be able to see, like, what in 100 years, what is this going to mean to people?
It will sit in a box until a display is planned and constructed, but that's more easily said than done, according to Executive Director Alan Robertson.
So we're talking at least doors, walls, ceiling, those kind of things.
Track lighting.
That nobody even thinks about.
And track lighting. I mean, track lighting is probably one of the most expensive parts of this whole construction in the first place.
For $200,000, Robertson's idea for a flag display could work in this spot of the Relic Room, a spot that's now office and storage space.
Well, it's an unfunded mandate, primarily. We haven't received any funding for that.
But tension is mounting, as is pressure for the museum to act and display the flag soon.
The other day I had someone approach me and he came up with 4 thumbtacks.
I don't think that would work.
Here in Virginia at the Battle of Gaines Mill, South Carolina soldiers were picked off by rifle and artillery fire as they carried a flag that now hangs in the Confederate Relic Room. So Robertson doesn't feel the State House flag has the same historic value as that flag and others. And he feels the State House flag would detract from actual battle flags.
I don't think it would serve either flag really well. They're different. This flag that came down from the State House has a wide palette of meaning. I mean, people interpret this flag in a lot of different ways. I really think the proper display, and I feel this pretty much in my gut, needs to be a separate display that interprets that flag alone.
But Robertson says he's had no feedback from lawmakers on the idea or any indication they will approve state funds to cover the price he's calculated. In the meantime, he won't force the flag where he doesn't see fit.
See, if you look carefully, there's a tiny bit of gold paint, the last remaining example of the stars that were in the blue field here.
Finally,
these men were in Union service.
In a room full of stories,
all of these men were freed slaves from the Beaufort district.
Another question remains. What story will accompany the controversial flag still stored away for now?
Robertson says it will be up to lawmakers to decide what story behind the State House flag is told in its display, and he hopes there can be some sort of middle ground agreed on.